My name's Bryce Solomon. I work for Caerus Strategic Group, which is a consulting company. My background is I'm an ex-fighter pilot in the Air Force and instructor, and Avalon is one of my favourite events in the defence industry calendar every couple of years because it's like one big reunion. The balance is the key word. So I still think there's always going to be a requirement for manned systems out there. We were at a bit of a chat this morning with someone where they were talking about having a manned system able to execute commands on an unmanned coast system, for example. But I certainly think that completely unmanned has its place in an environment that's maybe too dangerous for expensive humans, because they are still the most expensive thing to train a human to be in a platform. But the way I see things going forward is probably more optionally manned aircraft rather than purely manned or unmanned necessarily, which I think is what's going to happen with the 6th generation planes that they're talking about. So I think for me, A2AD environment, you're going to want to have something out there that's actually providing some electronic warfare capability, obviously, whether it be absorb, transmit, both. You're going to have really long standoff ranges as well. So for us, that's going to be having a very large aircraft in the Western world, which in theory the F-47 is going to be like that, as opposed to slightly smaller aircraft that need to be refueled a lot. So standoff ranges, and for me, I'd probably not want to be manned initially. I'd want to probably have some unmanned aircraft going in there and leading the way to get it done. I think that transition from being a combination of manned and unmanned is definitely a transition into 6th generation. I think the digital solutions within a 6th generation platform are going to be highly definitive, I think, to make it a 6th generation. So being able to actually process with onboard technology, whatever's coming in from an intelligence perspective, even offboard sensors as well as onboard sensors, having some decisions being made on board, or at least guided decision making on board. Really big on electronic warfare and digital jamming capabilities, etc. on board, making it a 6th generation. What I would like to see is definite real long ranges and super cruising abilities, making its way as prolific 6th generation fighter. So WA for me is one of the world's playgrounds for everything. We've got Indian Ocean off to the west, we've got a massive space of land, we've got cool weather to the south, hot weather to the north, huge amount of land to actually go out. So I think from a training perspective, we have Air Force training at RAF Base Caerus, so that's great. And how can industry go out there is we can actually try and now engage with Air Force and say, what do you need? Whether that be for one of my companies, predictive maintenance for corrosion. It's a huge problem in aircraft, especially in Australia. Engine maintenance and vibration predictive to actually let them keep going for longer and be able to predict it more. And then as a whole, I think we're going to have to tie in defence industry via AUKUS, and the submarine base is going to be the hub in WA. But we need to tie that back, in my opinion, to defence as a whole and show the world, hey, not only can we dominate in the maritime environment, we are good at everything. And I think West Australia has so much to offer. The downside is we are seen as we're so far away from the rest of Australia. And I think having people constantly come over to that hub is going to open their eyes to what capabilities we have.